Hello, friends. Welcome to yet another episode of Tea Talk with Owen. A new week, great start. My name is Owen Fernandez, and I wish you a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. I just pray that you're doing well and that you are safe. Today is the 7th of September 2021, and our topic for today is how to develop a habit of mindful focus. Well, I've decided to choose this topic and just pay attention to three key words in the topic: habit, mindful, and focus. So, friends, if you are on the call for the very first time, this is episode 37 in the series of Tea Time with Owen. I show up every Tuesday and every Thursday at 2 o'clock from my base in Central Europe, from a beautiful city in a great country called Slovakia. Now, friends, we live in a chaotic world. Therefore, creating a life of focus, a life of mindfulness, and a life of purpose definitely is a challenge. Also, we live in a time of mass distractions and continuous, relentless change. So, we are either distracted by social media notification that pops up on our phones, or at times we are bothered about how others validate us in terms of our achievement and our success. In short, we tend to pay more time and energy to please others rather than invest in ourselves. What I'm basically trying to say is that we focus on the outward rather than focus on the inward. So, the obvious question today is, how can we create mindful focus in our day to day lives? The answer to this is to develop a habit. So I come to the first word in this episode: habit. Now, friends, we all know how difficult it is to create a new habit and how challenging it is to break an old one. So, as the old adage goes, the old saying goes, old habits die hard, and more so, I repeat, and more so if the habits are not relevant and even outright bad, producing producing something that is counterproductive. And I know in my life too, I've had certain habits that I have been practicing over the years, very reluctantly willing to just give them up in the wake of something new. I know I have been there. So in this episode, I will share with you some tips how to develop this habit. So if you're on the call, please let me know through the chat box where you are watching from. Grab a cup of tea or coffee, take a comfortable seat, as this is Tea Time with Owen. The first important thing is that you need to relax, and maximum it's around 20 to 25 minutes. And this is some food for thought that I'm coming up every Tuesday and every Thursday. So, as I said, if you are here for the first time, welcome. I also see a good friend of mine from Oman. Oman, for your information, is where my mother lives. And And this morning, I was told that she's again readmitted to the hospital for some challenges in breathing. Her oxygen levels are 77. So just in case, if you could just offer a prayer so that she would be hale and healthy. She's 77 years of age, and I wish that she would recover completely. So let's get started. I also see a good friend of mine, Peter Bodaj. He says, "Wonderful to be here with you, gaining so much knowledge if you start applying it." Yes, knowledge, my friends, can be also extracted from books and and all sorts of other modes in today's world. But the application of knowledge is so very important if you want to change your life, and that is the wisdom. So let's get started. So, as usual, my friends, I love to start with a quote, and this time it is from the king of martial arts, the king of kung fu, Bruce Lee. I remember watching a couple of his movies long time ago, and we all knew about his life, his discipline, and his focus in this field of martial arts. Friends, he says the successful warrior is the average man or an average man with laser like focus. So, yeah, what Bruce Lee is actually saying is that if you want to become great, if you want to achieve certain things in life, if you want to be over and above the mediocrity or an average person, all you need in your armor is a laser like focus. Friends, focus is a powerful tool that helps us achieve our goals. In fact, you can you can compare focus to a muscle. Focus is improved by overcoming the temporary discomfort that we normally face, that we normally have challenges with, and of course the inevitable setbacks to stay on a particular task. That's why the power of focus is such a valuable skill to have. Now, for those who know me, I have got two daughters. The first one is very focused in whatever she does. But the second one, and I know I give her the benefit of doubt because she's so energetic and she's so full of life and energy that it's very difficult for us, to keep her at one place to focus on things. The power of focus is a very valuable skill to have. Why? Because if you learn the skill or the ability to focus, definitely your productivity increases. But the fact of the matter is, then when we are having so many things to do, so many multitasking things that are waiting for us in the limited time that we have, it becomes very difficult to focus on everything. We tend to juggle between responsibilities at work, at home. Now I'm speaking and I know what I'm talking about, being a father, being a husband, being the earner of the house. It becomes difficult to invest an equal amount of energy into everything. So the obvious solution is, how do we get this thing going? How do we focus on things that are important to us at any given point of time? How do we know which tasks to do when, and to do it in a way in which we do justice to the task? So just in case, if you are on the call, and if you too are having challenges on focusing, do let us know. Do let us know. So I'm going to share some 7 ways to develop the habit of mindful focus. And the first way is, you need to visualize the end, or keep the end in mind. Friends, as I said before, focus is like a muscle. You work on it little by little, bit by bit, every single day without fail. And suddenly you will find out that your focus improves, and it's also shown in your results. The resistance, of course, will always be there. But if you overcome the resistance, which normally creates a little bit of hurt for us, it strengthens your willpower and you get stronger and more focused day by day. It's as simple as that. Once we start to control our mind and focus on one task, we will get more productive both at work and at home. And when we start to accomplish more things, it reduces a lot of stress. So, the first thing that I would like to share, which has worked for me, is visualize the end product. Now, Stephen Covey, in his book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about it in Habit 2. He names this as begin with the end in mind, visualize the end product. Friends, the best way to keep us focused and motivated is to picture the end product. Now, as we foresee the end product, it naturally encourages us to focus and work on the task at hand. Now, apart from giving us a little bit push, this also helps us to be less procrastinating. Now, I do not know how many of you all know that there is an inertia when an object is placed in a state of rest. It is basically having inertia. We need to overcome the inertia in order to set that object in motion. The same thing works in our lives. In one of my episodes, I have mentioned that starting is the greatest separator from achieving what you ever wanted in life. But when you have an all consuming desire and when you visualize the end product, you know that you've got to work on it, and then slowly and steadily you've got to overcome that initial resistance. So your end product is something that pulls you through if you have got a great desire to accomplish it. Now, even coming up on a Tuesday and a Thursday, friends, is not very easy for me. For every episode that I spend 20 minutes live with you, I have to work for at least 3 hours. But I'm just thinking about that if I continue to show up Tuesday and Thursday, week after week, month after month, I'm sure that somebody on the call, somebody on the line, sometime when they go to my YouTube channel, if they are not in a position to see me live, will benefit from that. And that is the motivation that drives me to show up every Tuesday, every Thursday. So I am focused, visualize the end product, and then work towards it. If there are any comments, feel free. There is a chat box, and I would love to share your comments live on this forum. The second habit, the second way which has worked for me is to create a routine. Now, Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, says our behavior is impacted by a continuous loop of cues, routines, and rewards. So, friends, we need to notice what is stopping us from working on a particular task, or what is it that motivates or triggers us to procrastinate. Now, identifying this as a cue that makes us lose focus is a great start. Once the cues are identified, we need to understand what rewards do we get out of it, if at all we do find it rewarding. Does it merely distract us, or does it helps us relax? Now, for me, I normally take a break after every 45 minutes of intensive work on a computer. First and foremost, I just want my eyes to relax and, of course, my body to move. Now, I have made that as a routine, and I have even put it on my smartwatch to give me an indication when I have to stand up and move. So it gives me a little bit of fresh air just in case if I'm stuck in my thoughts trying to prepare a workshop or some sort of a presentation. Now, when this habit becomes a routine, it's quite refreshing. And then when you come back, you tend to focus even better. We can then create a new routine by looking at the cues, by looking at how exactly, at looking at and finding out the triggers that either enforces or distract us. Try to do this. Find out certain cues. Find out the things that hold you to a particular job or a task, and the things that distract you, taking you away from that particular task, and then make a routine out of it. I see Peter. mentioning a comment, I find myself to be jumping recently from one thing to another very quickly if it does not feel right with my personality. Yes, it also depends on how exactly you are wired. I know a lot of people, since I do a lot of psychometrics, high intuitors can jump from one topic to the other, not finishing any task. They just get excited, and one idea, they pick up one idea and the other idea and the other idea. So if they're talking about, the presidency of Donald Trump, suddenly you will find out that, over a period of time, they're talking about, handling mosquitoes and malaria somewhere in Cambodia. So those are also the personality traits. But as far as possible, try to find out how you are wired, how do you are tuned, and then make a routine for yourself. To each his own, as I have said before. Now, there is a third way that you can develop this habit of mindful focus is to learn to layer tasks. Now, friends, remember this: wherever your focus is, there your energy is going to flow. And whatever you focus on tends to expand. So, switching between different tasks in our to do list helps us not only to accomplish more tasks, but also makes us feel less overwhelmed. Now, a case in point is when I was in school, especially in during the examinations, in English language, we had prose, we had poetry, and then we had grammar. Now, I knew that the grammar section was very objective. In fact, it was not very exhaustive, that you don't have to write a lot. So rather than starting from the prose and the poetry section and then going to the grammar section, which was towards the end, I decided to do the grammar section first. Now, that gave me a lot of confidence in knowing that, yes, good, I have finished one section quickly, and I know that all my answers are correct because I have the confidence there. And that confidence helped me, to give better prose answers, to give better poetry answers. So, what am I trying to say is that by staggering our task based on the level of difficulty, our brain also gets some important breaks in between to do those tasks. For some, they love to do hard stuff first and then get to the easy ones. Fair enough. Allocate specific amount of times to do the hard stuff first, knowing that you will take less time to do the easy ones later on. But for some others like me, I would like to do the easy stuff first. At least it gives me a sense of accomplishment and confidence that I have finished certain tasks, irrespective of whether they are hard or easy, and now I've got to do the big ones. The feelings of accomplishment and confidence will enhance your focus and thus help you to achieve more. As I said, it's all in the mind. And that brings me to the second word that I mentioned in this topic statement: mind. Now, here too, if you read the book, and I recommend it, in fact, I have recommended it in one of my sessions before, the seven effective habits. Now, Stephen Covey talks about it again in habit number three. He says, put first things first. He's talking about prioritization. What is important? Layer those tasks, and suddenly you will find out that you're working in a very focused and organized way. Layer task. There is another way you can develop the habit of being of mindful focus is try to switch on to music. Music, if you love music, it's a great relaxer. It basically gives you a great sense of feeling good. Music, friends, has a very powerful impact not only on our mood but also in improving our focus and our attention. I see my friend Vijay Pandey. Thank you for bringing out the seven habits of highly successful people or highly effective people. Coming back to music, as I said, music has a very powerful impact not only on our mood but also in improving our focus and attention. Now, listening to our favorite song, whatever it could be, in whatever language we are basically comfortable with, and mostly via earphones, helps us to pay more attention to the lyrics, the instruments used, and the harmony. while the music or the song is being sung or the music is being played. This lets us to stay in the present and in fact helps us to concentrate. Switch to music. Pay attention to how the rhythm is there, the beats are there, the drums and the song and the intonation and the octaves and all that stuff. And once you basically continue to listen and enjoy it, you will actually basically increase your focus as well. So switch to music. The fifth way is focus on breathing. Now, most of us consider breathing to be very casual. We don't pay attention to our breathing. And that's the reason why many of us have big challenges in this area. Learn to breathe well. Breathing helps us to relax as well as stay focused. Now, I'm coming from the land of India, and I know the land of India talks a lot about yoga. Now, pranayama, it's a form of yoga that helps you to stay focused on your breathing. It's a cross leg position, and of course I'm not a very big fan of yoga, but I love to sit in a couple of positions, and concentrate with deep breathing. Now pranayama is a form of yoga that helps us to stay focused on our breathing. All we need to do is close our eyes and listen to the sound of our breath, deep breathing right from the core of our abdomen. Focusing only on that can help us a lot, and try to block out everything else. It has worked for me, especially when I'm surrounded with a lot of noise concerning a lot of activities to be done on a given day. And the best time is to do early in the morning. Focus on breathing. Now, this, in fact, you can put it right at the top. Unplug. Unplug. Now, friends, it's a known fact that we all live in a world that grabs our attention in the form of whatever you call it. In fact, it is distraction. You see advertisements here, you see certain things pop up there on your mobile phones or on your devices. The whole aspect here is to distract you as much as possible. Now, that's the reason why technology sometimes acts as a boon, and that's good to stay focused. But at the same time, it also acts as a bane. So it all depends on us. We need to choose. It is up to us to resist and stay focused, or to give in and get distracted. For example, right now, as I'm live in my office, I've disconnected all other devices, all other forms of distraction, only to pay attention and to continue to deliver this episode. So, when you sit to work and stay focused, turn off all those things that give you notification here and there. And I know, keep room for certain urgent calls, because you never know. Life is very unpredictable and life is fragile. It could involve life and death in a matter of minutes. But for the rest, I believe you need to unplug. Learn to unplug. It will help you a lot. As I said, the world just wants to distract you. The world wants to distract you. So if you want to stay focused, you need to know when to plug in and when to unplug. And finally, number 7, sweat it out. Take a walk, go for a swim, run or hit the gym, whatever be the form of exercise. Make sure to make it a routine. This helps us to be fit and also improves our thinking and creative skills. Don't sit at one place. Make sure that your body is respected, because if your body works well, then your mind also adds on to the fact that it requires to focus. And most importantly, friends, it releases stress by releasing feel good hormones, which are called endorphins, and thus promotes a better state of mind and overall health. Move. Now, I know the world that we are living in, working from home, has made us sit down and most of the people that I know are suffering from issues concerning health that was never 5 to 6 years ago, from neck aches, from spinal cord issues, from back pain lower and up, from shoulder pains, from wrist pains. As I said, technology is a boon as well as a bane. But as human beings, we have the choice, we have the right to exercise what is good for us and what is not. So, in summarizing, I've got this 7 ways for you to develop a habit of mindful focus. Visualize the end product, keep the end in mind, create a routine, look for cues, and find out those triggers that either make you distracted or takes you on a path of procrastination, or it triggers and motivates you to even delve further and complete the task. Try to stagger tasks. If you want to do the less important things first, get it done and free your mind and focus on the more important things, the bigger one, the larger one. Or if you want to eat the frog first, as Brian Tracy talks about it, okay, go ahead with a focused mind, depending on how your energy and how your body feels. Finish the big tasks and then slowly and steadily with ease finish the other task. Switch to music as it helps to relax, to de-stress, and to focus on breathing deep breathe deep, unplug from all sorts of distraction, and learn to sweat it out. So in closing, friends, I have this to say from Ralph Waldo Emerson: the only thing that can grow is the thing that you give energy to. I repeat, the only thing that you can grow is the thing that you give energy to. Whatever you feed will grow. As I said before, and I repeat, wherever your focus is, there your energy will flow. And whatever you focus on expands. Peter Bodas says, cannot agree more. The amount of digital pollution is truly becoming overwhelming if you're not aware of it. Yes, and many have fallen victim to it. I've got a good friend of mine, Jill Perkins from Melbourne. Nice to see you, Jill, on the call. Welcome. So, again, the only thing that can grow in your life, in your work, is the thing that you give energy to. And the choice remains with us. So, if you want to improve your focus, you need to develop the skill of paying attention to a particular thought, to a particular task or a goal for a specific amount of time without allowing distractions to break your concentration. And suddenly you will know that all the achievements that you ever desired is working well for you. So, friends, thanks for watching. You will find the references of what has been shared at the end of this talk. In the next slide, feel free to use them further for your personal growth. And friends, if you like this episode, please comment and share. Also, you could go to my YouTube channel where all the 36 episodes previously shared on this particular platform are put up for your good. And of course, in a short while from now, this episode will also be there. So please go share, like, and subscribe if possible. Remember, the win is always within you. I am here to help you be victorious. I believe in you, and together we can. Stay safe. See you on the next episode on Tea Time with Owen.